Welcome back, friends. Today, I'm breaking down Nano Machine. The chapter opens mid-chase. Yeo-won is sprinting through a moonlit forest, battered and terrified. He trips, goes flying off a ledge, and crashes hard into the ground below. His leg is done. He can barely move. And then he looks up and realizes the fall wasn't an accident. A group of masked assassins in dark cloaks are already surrounding him, perched on the rocks and trees like they've been waiting for hours. One of them says it outright. "Well done, Prince Cheon. All this waiting had me at the point of falling asleep." They herded him here. The entire chase was staged. He was running right into their trap from the very start. Yeo-won is desperate. He pleads, tells them he already gave up on enrolling into the academy, asks what more they could possibly want from him. But the lead assassin shuts that down cold. It doesn't matter if he gave up the academy. It doesn't matter if he has no talent. As long as he has a claim to the throne, he has to die. That's the only way. And then they twist the knife. They call his mother's blood peasant blood. They say they'll give him a painless death out of respect for his father's bloodline. That's what breaks something loose inside Yeo-won. He's furious, not about dying, about the insult to his mother. He knows a painless death is a lie. And if he's going to die anyway, he's going down swinging. He grabs a small blade and charges. Now here's the thing. Yeo-won has zero formal training. His wild slashes look pathetic. The assassins are laughing. But Yeo-won is using those random swings on purpose. He's making them think he's flailing, so they'll drop their guard. And the moment one of them gets careless, Yeo-won drives the blade right through him. One assassin down. The remaining killers are stunned. A kid with no martial arts training just outsmarted one of their own. One of them even mutters it. What if he had actually mastered martial arts? But one kill is all he gets. The lead assassin retaliates hard, runs a sword clean through Yeo-won's stomach. He collapses. Blood everywhere. They stomp on him, taunt him, tell him to die slowly. Yeo-won's on the ground, barely conscious. And he knows this is it. Then, a blinding flash of light splits the darkness. The assassins freeze. Something just appeared behind them. Someone. A figure in strange clothing no one in this era has ever seen. A hoodie, modern sneakers, some kind of visor over their eyes. Blue electricity is crackling across their entire body. The assassins don't even get a chance to react. This stranger moves at a speed they literally cannot perceive. 1 second he's there, the next he's gone, reappearing behind them, beside them, cutting through them like they're standing still. The lead assassin panics. He disappeared in a second? It's not an agility skill. It's like he's becoming invisible, like water. In seconds, every assassin is down. The mysterious figure walks calmly through the carnage and kneels beside the dying Yeo-won. And then he injects something into Yeo-won's body. Nano machines. Microscopic technology from centuries in the future. The stranger is a descendant of Cheon Yeo-won, and they traveled back in time for one purpose: to make sure their ancestor survives. So just like that, the most powerless prince in the demonic cult now has something fused inside his body that nobody in this entire world can even begin to understand. He was seconds away from bleeding out in a forest, and now he's carrying future technology in his bloodstream. Before we jump in, let's set the stage. Long ago, fighters of Jianghu mastered martial arts, first to defend themselves, then to destroy each other. These warriors became known as the Murim, and they split into two sides, the forces of justice and the forces of evil. But between those two factions, there was a third group that didn't care about right or wrong. They only cared about one thing: raw, absolute strength. The world called them the demonic cult. And within that cult, there's a boy who shouldn't even exist on anyone's radar. Cheon Yeo-won, the illegitimate son of the Lord's lowest-ranking concubine. No backing, no martial arts training, no allies. Just a target on his back, courtesy of his half-brothers who want him dead before he can ever claim the throne. Yeo-won's eyes snap open. He shoots upright, gasping. He was sure, absolutely sure. A sword pierced his stomach. But here he is, breathing, alive. Something's wrong though. His entire body is drenched in sweat, and there are these gross black spots all over his skin. It smells terrible. He's sticky, nauseous, and completely disoriented. Then he hears it. "Are you awake, master?" He whips around. Nobody's there. The room is empty. But the voice keeps going. calm and mechanical, telling him to relax. Yo-woon's eyes narrow. This isn't telepathy. He's heard telepathy before. This is different. This sounds like it's coming directly from inside his skull, and then the voice confirms it. I connect and serve as a core to support Master's brain. I am Sky Corporation's 7th generation nano machine. Yo-woon doesn't understand a single word of that. He hears nano, and his brain immediately jumps to Munchin, which in his world means evil god. The same evil god the demonic cult worships. He drops to his knees, trembling. Meanwhile, outside the room, Guardiang is escorting Dr. Bayek through the compound. The two of them are piecing together what happened the night before, and the picture is gruesome. Jang describes finding mutilated corpses of demonic cult assassins scattered across the ground. Among the carnage, one body still had the dagger Jang gave Yo-woon lodged in its skull. And then, not far from the bloodbath, he found Yo-woon, sound asleep, breathing peacefully. His clothes were shredded by blades, but his body had 0 wounds. Not a single scratch. Dr. Beck strokes his beard. This is getting interesting. Back in the room, Yo-woon is demanding answers. He asks the god if it saved his life. The nanomachine corrects him. It didn't fight off his attackers, but it did activate self-healing mode on his dying body. It then offers to upload its basic data directly into his brain. He accepts, and instantly regrets it. Blue lightning floods his vision. Data slams into his consciousness. His eyes glow. He doubles over and vomits. The nanomachine, completely unbothered, explains this is a normal first-time reaction. After recovering, reality hits him. Over 6 billion nanomachines are now permanently embedded in his body. They can't be removed unless he dies. He's stuck with this thing. A knock at the door snaps him out of it. Guardiang and Dr. Baker here. Yo-woon panics. He can't be caught talking to thin air. He tells the nanomachine to shut up. It helpfully informs him it can read his thoughts instead, then switches to silent mode. Dr. Bayek examines him and takes his pulse. After a long, tense silence, his eyes go wide. Guardiang braces for the worst, but Dr. Baek says the opposite. Yo-woon's body has been completely cleansed of impurities. His energy flow is activated. For the first time in his life, Cheon Yo-woon has the perfect body to train in martial arts. Yo-woon looks down at the black gunk still clinging to his skin. Those weren't stains. That was waste, pulled from his body by billions of tiny machines reshaping his blood vessels, joints, and muscles from the inside out. A slow grin spreads across his face. The nanomachine speaks one final time. I'm not an evil god, but a machine, master. So, quick refresher. The demonic cult is made up of 6 main clans. The Sword Clan, the Dark Clan, the Spring Clan, the Poison Clan, the Blade Clan, and the Sound Clan. The lord of the cult is bound by oath to take a woman from each clan and produce heirs. Those heirs get raised by their mother's clan, and when they're old enough, they all get thrown into the demonic academy, a brutal training ground that opens once every 10 years. When multiple princes enter at the same time, they call it the Battle of the Heirs, and that's exactly the era we're in. Now, Yo-woon just survived an assassination attempt, and his body's been healed by a nanomachine from the future that's now living inside him. But nobody knows about it, and he needs to keep it that way. The chapter picks up with Dr. Bayek from the Poison Clan examining Yo-woon after his recovery. And this old man is sharp. He checks Yo-woon over and tells him everything seems fine, prescribes a tonic to restore his energy, but the whole time, his mind is racing. He's thinking, this doesn't add up. This kid used to have a weak body and 0 martial arts knowledge. Now his body's in condition to outperform the other princes. Dr. Beck leaves, and he's suspicious. He figures the Lord must have secretly helped his illegitimate son. He mutters to himself that the upcoming demonic academy is going to be noisy, meaning he knows things are about to get interesting. Back in his room, Yo-woon breathes a sigh of relief. The doctor didn't catch on. He thinks about Guardiang, the one person who came to save him during the assassination attempt, and tries to thank him. But Jang just holds up a hand and goes, "I'm sorry, Prince," then pinches his nose. The kid stinks. He hasn't bathed since nearly dying. So Yo-woon hops in the bath, and this is where it gets good. He starts talking to the nanomachine. He asks about the self-healing ability. How far does it go? The nanomachine tells him it can heal any internal or external wound from impact pretty quickly. But blood loss and decapitation take longer because they require cell division. Ye-Woon doesn't fully understand the science, but he decides to test it. He grabs a small blade, slices his own palm open, and immediately regrets it. But then, green light starts pulsing around the wound. The bleeding stops. The cut seals itself shut right before his eyes. He's stunned. It actually works. Then he looks down at his body and freezes. His frame is completely different. Toned, muscular. He's like, wait, nanomachine, how am I suddenly built like this? And the nanomachine casually drops that it reconstructed his entire body. Not created something new, restructured what was already there. Ye-Woon can barely process it. He also nicknames the nanomachine Nano because the full name is too long. Nano's response? Registering the name Nano. Cold, no personality. Ye-Woon calls it a jerk. Now comes the game changer. Ye-Woon heads to his study, and Nano tells him to grab a book and just flip through every page. That's it. No reading required. Ye-Woon picks up a book called Blood Passage. It's about blood points and pressure techniques, and starts flipping. Nano's eyes light up with a digital scan interface, capturing every page in real time. When he's done, Nano confirms. Book successfully scanned. Then it asks if Ye-Woon wants the information transferred directly into his brain. He accepts. A surge of energy rips through his body. He screams. It feels like his skull is being split open. But when the pain fades and the transfer completes, he doesn't just remember the book. He understands it. Every blood point, every pressure technique, the difference between points that immobilize and points that kill. It's all there, crystal clear, like he studied it for years. And here's the kicker. Nano didn't just copy the book. It corrected the errors in it. The original text had mistakes about blood point locations, and Nano fixed them before transferring the data. Ye-Woon is holding knowledge that's more accurate than the source material. He sits there, trembling, and it hits him. The 6 clan princes have been training in martial arts since birth. He couldn't even master the basic 3 Jason breathing method. But now, with this ability, he can scan every martial arts book in the Demonic Academy and absorb them instantly. With corrections, he can learn faster than anyone alive. He clenches his fist, grinning. With this ability, I'm going to become stronger faster than anyone else in the Academy. That's my goal now. But while Ye-Woon is setting his sights on the top, the scene cuts to the South Castle, the house of Bokmajong. Prince Mukium, the one who ordered the assassination, just got word that all 5 of his hired killers are dead. He's furious. A hooded subordinate kneels before him and says someone must have secretly helped Ye-Woon survive. So, Ye-Woon thinks he's preparing in secret. But the people who tried to kill him, they already know he's alive, and they're already planning their next move. The chapter opens before sunrise. Ye-Woon is lying in bed, wide awake, too nervous to sleep. He drags himself up, slides open the door, and sees Guardiang already outside in the courtyard doing his morning training, running through his dagger techniques in the cold air. Ye-Woon watches him, and the thought creeps in. Should I have secretly learned Yang's dagger techniques all this time? He immediately shuts it down. No. If the 6 clans found out he was training, they'd come after him even harder. The oath kept him alive, and that's when the nanomachine speaks up. It asks a simple question. Would you like me to scan Guard Zhang's movements? Ye-Woon freezes. Scan them. The nanomachine confirms. It can record someone's physical movements just by observing them, then transfer that data directly into Ye-Woon's brain. On top of that, it already has data on various martial art techniques stored in its program. Ye-Woon hesitates. Stealing Guard Zhang's techniques without permission. Is that right? But then reality hits him. In a few hours, he's walking into the academy with 0 combat ability, surrounded by heirs who've been trained since birth. He doesn't have the luxury of morality right now. He needs every advantage he can get. He gives the order. Scan. The nanomachine activates. Ye-Woon's eyes shift. That signature blue glow. And for the next 30 minutes, every single movement Guardiang makes is recorded. Every slash, every pivot, every weight shift built over 20 years of dedicated practice. All of it captured and transferred directly into Ye-Woon's brain. The transfer finishes, and Ye-Woon grabs a staff to test it. His body moves on instinct. Guardiang's footwork, Guardiang's angles, Guardiang's timing. It's an exact copy. 20 years of mastery downloaded in half an hour. But then the nanomachine drops a catch. Knowing the technique and having the body to perform it are two different things. Yeowun's muscles have never trained a day in his life. His brain knows the movements, but his body can't keep up. The solution? A muscle transfer. A simulation that forces his muscles to adapt to the techniques. And it's going to hurt. The nanomachine casually mentions that across its records, over 1.35 million users have fainted from this process. Yeowun swallows hard and tells the nanomachine to skip the anesthesia. He wants to stay conscious. Big mistake. The transfer starts gentle, almost ticklish. He's about to laugh it off when the real wave hits. Every muscle in his body seizes at once. He screams. The nanomachine immediately injects anesthesia, and Yeowun drops to the floor unconscious. Meanwhile, Guarjang is in the kitchen preparing Yeowun's favorite meal. He thinks back to Lady Hua's last words, "Please take care of my Yeowun," and quietly prays for the boy's safety at the academy. Then he hears the scream. He drops his knife and bursts through the door to find Yeowun collapsed on the floor. He checks the pulse. Nothing wrong, just unconscious. But then, Guarjang looks down at the wooden floor and freezes. Footprints, carved into the wood from martial arts practice. And not just any footwork, those are his footsteps. His dagger technique patterns. The exact movements he spent 20 years perfecting. Guarjang is staring at proof that Cheon Yeowun somehow copied his life's work overnight. And he has no idea how. Yeowun jolts awake gasping, swearing he's never doing that again. The nanomachine calmly informs him the muscle and fiber transfer is complete. He picks up his dagger, skeptical, and decides to test it out. The difference is immediate. Same techniques as before, but the precision, the power, it's on another level. The nanomachine explains that through the muscle transfer, his body now has the same conditioning as someone who practiced these movements for 20 years. He tears through the first formation, blade cutting the air with a sharpness he's never felt before, and launches into the second. And that's when the floor explodes. His footwork craters the wooden boards. Debris everywhere. Yeowun freezes, even without using Negong. Internal energy, his raw physical technique left footprints gouged into the floor. He realizes his Waigong, his external martial arts, has already been completed. And then the panic hits. If Guarjang sees this, it's over. Stealing someone else's martial arts technique is one of the biggest taboos in Murim. He's scrambling to press the broken wood back down when there's a knock at the door. Prince. Your breakfast is ready. Guarjang walks in. Yeowun practically throws himself away from the damaged floor, babbling about how hungry he is, trying to steer Jang away from the window where he usually eats. It's awkward. It's desperate. And Jang notices something is off. But he doesn't push it. Not yet. The food arrives and Yeowun stops mid-thought. Stir-fried bok choy, roast pork, rice with a fried egg on top, all of his favorite dishes. And it clicks. Today is the day he gets admitted to the academy. This could be the last breakfast Guarjang ever makes for him. His chest tightens. The nanomachine, ever helpful, announces that a sudden change in emotions is causing acid reflux and starts increasing his saliva secretion. Yeowun snaps at it to shut up. It enters mute mode. He inhales every bite. Doesn't leave a single grain of rice. After the meal, Guarjang sets down his chopsticks and looks at Yeowun. Prince, when did you learn my dagger technique? Yeowun's blood goes cold. He knows the rule. Stealing martial arts is a crime in Murim. He used the nanomachine's power to copy Zhang's technique without permission. He starts stammering, bracing for anger, for disappointment. But Yang just sits down beside him and says, "You did good." He tells Yeowun it doesn't matter how he learned it. "I am your guard. If it wasn't for the oath of the 6 clans, I would have taught it to you earlier." Then he pulls out a scroll, the energy flow method for the Negong of his dagger technique, and hands it over. Yeowun breaks, tears running down his face. Clutching that scroll, he tells Jang he's never going to cry again. Jang watches him quietly, then says the one thing that hits hardest. "You can cry today, but you must become stronger from now on. I can't be with you after you get admitted." Jang reflects to himself. It's been 5 years since Lady Hua passed. Yeowun has gritted his teeth through everything. Endured Prince Cheon's abuse. But underneath it all, he's still just a boy hungry for a parent's love. Yeowun wipes his face, walks out, and doesn't look back. From now on, I mustn't fear or hesitate. Even though Mother is not here anymore, I still have a place I can return to. He arrives at the academy, and it's chaos. Nearly 1,000 cadets packed into the grounds, all jostling for position. But the noise dies instantly when the doors of the main hall blow open, and a man with long red hair and a fur-collared cloak storms in, cracking the stone beneath his feet. The Left Guardian, the Fire King, Lee Hua Myung, one of the top 5 strongest warriors in the entire demonic cult. He scans the crowd with pure contempt and growls. Did you all come here without the resolve that this place could be your last? And standing in the front row, untouched by the shockwave, are the heirs of the 6 clans, Cheon Mu Yeon of the Dark Clan, Cheon Kyung Woon of the Sword Clan, Cheon Mu Kyum of the Spring Clan, each one radiating the kind of confidence that only comes from being raised to rule. Right out the gate, Yo Woon hits a problem. His name tag is missing. Every other cadet got theirs, but his? Gone. And he knows exactly who's responsible. One of the 6 clans pulled it. A petty move, but the message is clear. You don't belong here. Yo Woon keeps his cool though. No point starting a fight before things even begin. He decides to wait it out, but the whispers are already starting. The other cadets notice that black number 7 tag, an heir candidate who isn't backed by any of the 6 clans. And the rumors hit hard. They're saying he hasn't mastered a single style of martial arts. Some of them are already calling him the first one to fail. Yo Woon hears all of it. He lets them talk, then a voice cuts through the noise. A red-haired figure with a fur-lined coat steps forward and locks eyes on him. He calls Yeo Woon the Lord's illegitimate child, mocking him right to his face. Before it can escalate, horns blast across the courtyard. Everyone freezes. The Lord is arriving. Out steps the Right Guardian, Seob Mong, known as Crazy Blade. Behind him, the Lead Guardian, Marakyum, the Great Guardian King. And then, the Lord himself, Cheon Yujong, one of the top 5 strongest in all of Murim, the Cheonma Cult Lord. The second he appears, the entire courtyard buckles. His presence alone is so heavy that cadets can't even lift their heads. This isn't just authority. It's raw, overwhelming Nagong pouring out of one man. He addresses the crowd. You are responsible for the future of this cult. Train. Make ties. Become its power. His voice sounds like he's speaking normally, but it rings crystal clear in every single ear across that massive courtyard. That's how deep his internal energy runs, and Yo Woon stands there, staring at him, thinking one thing. That's my father. The man who never came when his mother died. The man whose cold eyes sweep over the crowd without a single flicker of recognition. Yo Woon watches those eyes pass right over him, and feels nothing. Because he stopped expecting anything from this man a long time ago. After the Lord exits, the real briefing starts. The red-haired instructor takes the stage and wastes 0 time. The academy runs for 4 years, 6 stages. After every stage, there's a test, and you only get 1 shot. Fail once, you're expelled, instantly. No appeals, no second chances. The cadets start panicking. One of the 6 clan heirs, a well-dressed, confident-looking cadet, raises his hand to ask a question. The instructor doesn't even let him finish. He snaps back, asking who gave a bastard like him permission to speak. The cadet flares up, releasing his own energy in defiance. But the instructor shuts him down cold, reminding him that the moment he stepped into this academy, every privilege from his clan disappeared. He threatens to expel him before the competition even starts. The cadet backs down, then comes the carrot. For those who pass each stage, there's a reward. The Black Dragon Ball. A medicine pill that grants 20 years worth of Nagong to whoever consumes it. Pass all 6 stages, collect all 6 balls, and you'd have 120 years of Nagong, putting you near the level of a high expert. The cadets go wide-eyed, but the veterans in the crowd note it's not that simple. The more you take, the weaker the effect, and absorbing even one fully is no guarantee. Yo Woon hears all of this, and something clicks. He has 0 Nagong right now. Nothing. But if he can pass even 1 stage, just 1, he could jump from nothing to 20 years of internal energy overnight. For everyone else, the Black Dragon Ball is a nice bonus. For Yeo Woon, it's a lifeline. The academy just drew the battle lines. 6 stages. 1 chance each. No clan protection. And a reward that could change everything for the one cadet who has nothing to lose. Yeowoon walked in here with no martial arts, no allies, and no name worth respecting. But now he has a target. The instructor wraps up his big speech about how everything works. Clear every stage. Climb the ranks. Low-ranked warrior. Mid-ranked. Squad leader. Clan leader. And even proud kids from powerful clans can get knocked down if they're weak. His message is simple. From here on, only the strong survive. Then he drops the bomb nobody was ready for. The first test. Right now. No lessons, no warm-up. The cadets panic. Aren't they supposed to learn something first? Doesn't matter. Fail this, and you're expelled, tossed into the farming and service districts, and told flat out to be prepared to die. And the test targets one thing. Basic Nagong. Internal energy. Which is a problem, because Cheon Yeowoon has none. The women of the 6 clans forced him to swear an oath never to train it. So, while everyone else sweats over the exam, one of his enemies in the crowd smiles. This test is going to kill the boy for them. Saves them the trouble. Then the examiner walks in, and the room goes cold. It's the 5th elder of the demonic cult herself, Hang So-yu, leader of the Sound Clan. She looks the crowd over and calls the test honestly very easy. All you have to do is endure her musical energy wave for 1 full minute without fainting. She'll hold back, she says. With even a little Nagong, you'll manage. The catch? Cheon Yeowoon has 0. She starts playing. And it's brutal. Kids cover their ears and it does nothing. The sound goes straight through them. The candidates from the smaller clans crumble almost instantly. The 6 clans elites, the ones pumped full of Nagong-boosting medicine since childhood, grit their teeth and hold on, laughing that the powerless kid is definitely already face down in the dirt. Except he isn't. Cheon Yeowoon is still standing. Perfectly steady. And people start to notice, why hasn't he fallen? Cheon Yeowoon? Half the field is down with internal injuries, and the boy with no power hasn't so much as flinched. Here's the secret. Inside his body, Nano quietly saved his life. The second it detected those high and low frequency waves tearing through him, it activated emergency defense mode, shutting off his ability to sense sound entirely. He literally can't hear the attack. The only voice reaching him is Nano's, fed straight into his brain. He even asks Nano to block the Elder's terrifying glare, then waves it off. Cool as anything, up on the platform, Hang So-yu's face twists. She's frustrated, impatient. So she plays harder, pushing the wave to a level that would shred anyone with less than 20 years of training. Even the proudest upper clan candidates start screaming, coughing, buckling under the pressure, clinging on for the honor of their families. And the whole time, the watching elders and the instructor arrive at the same stunned conclusion. This boy is the reason she's going all out. They'd heard he had no Nagong, but that has to be a lie. Nobody survives this without power. Then Cheon Yeowoon flinches, surprised by something. Because the students behind him, the ones who aren't even allowed to turn around, are staring. The powerless kid isn't just surviving. He's completely fine. Calm, unbothered, untouched. While 20-year veterans collapse. And there's only one explanation their minds will accept. He had Nagong all along. Cheon Yeowoon, the illegitimate 7th prince who's supposed to have 0 Nagong, just stood there, carried by Nano, the machine living inside him. But standing there perfectly fine makes him look like a liar. The energy wave has left him deaf. So he reads the room the only way he can. Nano scans the crowd's faces. Absurdity, surprise, anger. Their pride is wounded. They wrote him off as powerless, and now he's outlasting all of them, so he makes a cold call. Nano, could you give me an internal injury? Nano does not love this. Deliberately wrecking your own organs? Not recommended. Cheon Yeowoon doesn't care. Once the performance ends, injure me and make me vomit blood. Meanwhile, the 5th elder is unraveling. This brat, who isn't even 15, is shrugging off her attack, and her pride can't take it. So she cranks it, half the power in her entire body. The other elders panic. This is dangerous. A hair harder, and every student in the hall fails. Then it stops, and she freezes, horrified at herself. She let her anger nearly kill a room full of kids over one boy. That's when Cheon Yeowoon performs. He throws up blood. Not a trickle, a flood. The crowd recoils. He threw up that much? Inside him, Nano confirms the job. Damage to about 30% of his organs. blood forced backward for maximum effect. And his internal reaction is pure gallows humor. Hey, you crazy! I really thought I was dying. An elder scrambles. If this kid dies during the test, it's on them. Illegitimate or not, he carries the leader's bloodline. Nano flags dizziness from 7% blood loss and flips into self-healing mode. Cheon Yo-woon sways and drops, and the whole hall recalculates. How much hidden Naegong must this boy have to eat that attack and stay standing? The conclusion they reach rattles them. Take him to the infirmary. I can't believe he passed the first test on pure mental strength and sheer will. Off stage, the Guardians corner the fifth elder. That was too far. You almost killed him. Does the boy only have a little Naegong? Her answer lands like a stone. He has none. None at all. I gave him a nudge to check. Nothing. He kept his oath. Full energy wave, catastrophic internal damage, and he held on with nothing but will. One Guardian says it out loud. That kind of will is genuinely frightening. Another admits that if the boy weren't illegitimate, he'd take him as a student in a heartbeat. And in the corner sits the drunk one, the Academy's favorite disaster of a Guardian. Deep in his cups, trading insults with the red-haired one, he looks at the elite students scattered unconscious across the floor and sneers. Kids these days, no grit. Then his eyes land on the broken, bleeding boy who refused to fall. And the drunken Guardian says the words about to reshape Cheon Yo-woon's entire future. Compared to them, I really like that kid. Cheon Yo-woon, second floor, main building. The Academy doctor, Baek Jong-myung, student of the famous Baek Jong-woo, is genuinely delighted to hear there's a patient on day one. Then he sees the kid, and the excitement drains out of his face. Did he get stabbed in the stomach? No, it's all internal. The escorts explain the left Guardian personally asked for special care, since the boy has no Naegong. Baek nods, but something's bothering him. He's seen a lot of cases. He has never seen this much blood come out of an internal injury. And here's the irony. While he's being examined, Nano has quietly repaired almost all the damage. His color's already improving. His pulse is irregular and racing. Baek keeps muttering that the numbers don't line up. You don't bleed like this from biting your tongue. He reaches for the acupuncture needles. Then the door opens and the room changes temperature. The right Guardian walks in, reeking of alcohol. Baek nearly jumps out of his skin. There's history here. The Guardian immediately starts needling him. The little coward who used to hide behind his teacher grew up to be the Academy doctor. Baek smiles with his mouth and nothing else, and politely asks him to enjoy his rest. Cheon Yo-woon lies still, mind racing. Why is that man in the infirmary? Did he figure out I'm faking? He gets his answer fast. The right Guardian lifts him upright into a sitting position, without laying a finger on him. Pure Naegong, across the room. Yo-woon can't fight it. His body isn't repaired yet. Then the Guardian leans in with a grin. Keep pretending to sleep, and I'll hit you. He explains it plainly. A 20-year-old male breathes about 12 to 20 times a minute. Yo-woon was breathing 8. Too controlled, too clean. Nano's perfect regulation is exactly what gave him away. Baek is horrified that the boy shows no fear in front of a Guardian. The Guardian loves it. He says kids these days fold the second anything gets hard. They always look for the easy way out. This one didn't. This one has will the others don't have. Yo-woon's internal reaction is priceless. I didn't endure it with willpower. Baek tries to interrupt for treatment and gets shut down. The adults are talking. And then the right Guardian says the thing nobody in that room expected. Kid, I want to take you in as my student. Yo-woon actually loses his composure. He asks whether the 6 clans will accept this. The Guardian laughs it off. What exactly are they going to do about it? They have to compete with each other regardless. He already knew they'd play dirty tricks on the so-called infamous 7th prince at the Academy. But making a boy lose this much blood, even he thinks that went too far. Yo-woon weighs it. It's an enormous opportunity. Plus, it could also be a trap. He stalls. It's sudden. He'll have an assigned instructor anyway. The Guardian snaps that if he keeps hesitating, it'll look like he's begging, then softens. This kid has a lot of doubts. Considering the life he's lived, that's fair. Then, if you're still unconvinced, I'll offer you something you can't turn down. He slides a paper across. Yo-woon stares at it. What is it? The Guardian smiles. It's the thing he needs most to survive in this academy. And then the words that hang in the air. You passed the first test on sheer will. Do you really think someone with no Nagon can pass the second? Did you like this video? Subscribe for more. Want the next part? Comment below.